What is up, everybody? Big Bad Trav, DAD. Another unboxing, guys. What I tell you? Coming at you fast. This time, the Roman Reigns WWE Ultimate Edition. Guys, awesome figure. You already know. They the ones, we the twos, right? That's right. Acknowledge your tribal chief. This is going to be fun. Getting out of the package. Got Roman Reigns on the side. On the back, as always, picture of the figure, picture of the tribal chief himself, some info about him. Pretty awesome, guys. On the side, it says his name, Roman Reigns. Yeah. This figure comes with 2 extra head sculpts, a shirt, the Universal Championship, his lei of peppers, and an extra set of hands. I don't know if it's just me, guys. I mean, this figure looks great and everything, but his body seems a little off to me. I don't know. Am I getting a little too picky? I don't know. I feel like these Ultimate Editions usually portray the wrestlers pretty much on point. And, I don't know. I just think his body should be a little different. But, nonetheless, I think it's time to let this figure shine. Your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Excellent figure. Roman's first Ultimate. I'm sure we'll get another one or another, few. Who knows? I'm almost positive this isn't the last Roman Ultimate that's going to be made. I can't wait for the Usos 2-pack Ultimate. That's going to be amazing. Obviously, he didn't come with that one hand. I got that from a Hulk Hogan figure. And since their skin tones are pretty close in color, I just swapped them out. Because, they're the ones. We the twos. Pretty awesome figure, guys. Another one that you guys should probably have in your collection. I recommend it to everyone. Definitely want to have it. Roman's best figure, for sure, without a doubt. In my opinion. Of course. Everybody's got their own taste. Alright, guys. My time is up. Let me know how I'm doing in the comment section below. Like this video. Subscribe to my channel. Turn them notifications on. You don't want to miss out. Got tons more coming, guys. Till next time, I'm Big Bad Trav, the DAD. And always remember, they aren't just toys to us, damn it. Ciao.